Okay, I think kids laugh and make jokes in sex education classes because they're embarrassed about the topic and they're still a little immature about those things.
My name is David Austin. I'm a student here. I'm a senior at University of Arizona, and I'm going to help Sean with a little interview for his class.
We're answering those questions.
Question 1. Do you want me to repeat the question?
No, I'm going to write it.
Okay. Question 1. I think kids laugh and make jokes because when they're learning about sex ed, it's a new concept and it's kind of uncomfortable, not spoken about a lot. So that's how they cope with that kind of uncomfortable subject.
Hi, my name is Francisco. I'm one of Sean's friends. I'm going to answer some questions he left me. The first one, the answer to that is kids are ignorant. They're young. They try to be cool. They try to not look like, the outcast. So they laugh. Other kids laugh and they laugh with them. It's just part of fitting in. So, they don't do it intentionally, but they just don't want to be considered not part of the group.
Again, I don't think we ever grow out of feeling a little bit uncomfortable talking about sex education in public, so when issues are brought up at a school board meeting or whatever, parents don't really speak up on the importance of sex education.
Parents aren't necessarily not enforcing sex education in school, but what they should be doing, in my opinion, the reason that they're not enforcing it is because in a sense, the kids are getting an education in that sex ed field, but they feel that because kids are ignorant, they feel they should be the ones to tell them. So that's why they're not denying that sex ed is a bad thing in school, because it does shed some light on it, but they feel that they need to be the ones to take the serious side, the more serious side, the more, because they're parents and it has a bigger impact on their children, which is why they're not enforcing sex ed, but they're not necessarily trying to take it away.
Yeah, I had sex ed in elementary school and again in middle school, so maybe like 4th grade and then again in 6th grade. I certainly think that all information regarding to sex education given in a school atmosphere is useful.
So I actually in the 7th grade took health class, and that involved obviously sex education. I saw the infamous Miracle of Life that pretty much everyone I know has seen, and did I learn a lot? I actually everything they told me or taught me was pretty much repetitive because I had already known it. Many kids nowadays, when they're in sport or they're in a group with friends that are older, they actually learn a lot. Though some of it may not be the best, they do learn a lot because of those older kids. And so, was it useful? It was useful in reiterating it, embedding it more into my memory, but it didn't really have such a huge impact in my gaining of new knowledge towards sex education, because essentially I'd already been exposed to that side of what goes on in that area with regards to sex and all that stuff, because your friends, they talk about it, especially older kids.
Eric Maven, and I did take sex ed in school, but I wasn't actually ever encouraged to, I guess. I kind of just was forced into it like a lot of my other friends and stuff, but it wasn't that big of a deal. I mean, I guess it was kind of useful information, but I've learned the same thing subsequent years after that, so I guess it was kind of just a repeat of information, so it's not that big of a deal.
Cool. Thank you. Is that good?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Are you gonna edit this? Okay. My name's Ben. I'm 5'4". My favorite color's blue. I can't do this.
Keep going.
To answer the question, did you take or were encouraged to take sex ed in school? If so, was it useful information? Yes, I did take sex ed in school, and I believe it was useful information.
No, I think we should continue with as much sexual education as we can within the United States school system. I think that we can even embellish upon what we have currently.
So, do I think that it would be better to not have sex ed in schools? No, not at all. Whether or not you're already knowledgeable of the subject or not, it's always good to have a foundation towards, learning or gaining even more knowledge for a subject that you either don't know about or you already do know about. But many kids out there don't have those friends that I was speaking of earlier that teach you about that stuff, and so they need to be taught in a classroom. And other kids do take it seriously. Some other kids are more mature and they're not as ignorant. They don't really care about what others think, so they actually do pay attention and they actually learn something from it. But essentially, even if kids act like they don't care, they are learning. It's not like they forget the information, because you even see them joke about it after, which means they remember. If they're joking about what they learned in class, then they remembered it, and it will come up as a useful thing to know in their future.
Your name?
Hey, I'm Sophia, and I'm a freshman at the U of A, and good friends with Shawnee. Alright, I'm just going to answer one question, and that's, do you think it would be better if we didn't have sex education in schools like the U.S. does now? And I disagree. I think we should have sex ed classes in schools because that's how kids start to learn about it, so keep it in there.
Alright.
Oh wait, that sounded really bad.
I think that to make improvements to our sexual education program in schools, we should utilize more verbal communication rather than showing videos and sitting back and hoping that it gets through the students. Try to encourage question asking and just kind of bringing it up comfortably, verbally.
Okay, some suggestions. I think that teachers need to be more real, not try to baby the fact because they think they're talking to young kids. Nowadays, young kids are doing stupid things that older kids would be doing. And so if you're more realistic, more truthful towards those kids, it'll be more profound. It'll have a more profound effect on them, and they'll understand the situation, and the gravity of it. So maybe even seminars or something, or maybe assemblies, but definitely being more.
There we go.
What is this?
Look, Sammy.
The question.
Any suggestions on what we should do with sex education in schools while somehow keeping the students focused in the class instead of them laughing at it?
Instead of them laughing at it?
How do we keep them serious?
How do you keep it serious? Have you ever gone to a sex ed? They're all serious during the whole thing because they don't want them laughing because the teachers think they'll be dumb.
Yeah, but they always make jokes.
That's after the class, not during the class.
So how do we make them take it seriously and retain the information?
Show a pregnant 16-year-old.